Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. If it's around 9 o'clock, you got me. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. Welcome to LoveBabz Love Talk on 103.5 FM, WNHHLP Community Radio. So, we are live streaming from the New Haven Independent. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media. Harry is back from cleaning up North Carolina. He should be in tomorrow. Nora is still riding shotgun. Thank you, Nora. And Paul Beasy is, I don't know, running drills at the compost heap. Because some of the best news comes from the compost heap. If you don't know, now you know. Good morning. Happy Monday. Woo, it's brisk. I bought a space heater because I'm not turning on my heat yet. It is not consistently cold enough for me to turn on my heat. I know people have turned on their heat. I just can't do it. So this is what I did. I went to Walmart, and I only go to Walmart. And Harry knows this. I only go to Walmart when I don't have any money. When I got big Willie money, I go to Target. When I gotta make every dollar count, I go to Walmart. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. So I went to Walmart, I bought a space heater, and then I bought an itty bitty tiny space heater for the bathroom. Just enough to take the chill off the room in the morning when I use it. So I get up in the morning, I click it on, and by the time I'm ready to go in there and do what I do, baby, it's warm enough. Yes, I bought space heaters because I'm not trying to turn my heat on for the whole apartment just yet. I just can't do it. So yeah. Oh yes, my nails are done. Thank you, Sammy. So I got a new treatment. So she put the super gel plex stuff on it as a foundation because my nails was getting too soft. And I don't like long nails. I like my nails very, very short. But she was like, "This gonna grow your nails. You think your nails grow fast now? This gonna grow your nails." And so I look at Marquisha's nails. Marquisha grew her nails for a minute, like a year or two. Beautiful. I don't think I want my nails that long. And it's been, oh God, I haven't had long nails since high school. So that's 40 years ago, because I just don't like long nails. And my nails have always been historically soft. So, but feels good. So I might like them a little bit longer than this. I doubt it because, I just like to be able to rock and roll the way I want to rock and roll. So let me tell you what I got into this weekend so y'all will know. It was a good weekend. But I always have a good weekend. What's a bad weekend for me? Nothing. Even when I'm not doing nothing, it's a good weekend. So yeah. So I got my nails done Friday. My soror Marsha Harrison's birthday was Friday. I didn't get a chance to go celebrate because I knew they took a Thimble Island cruise, which I probably could have done, but I was getting my nails done, so I declined. And then they had like cocktails at Il Gabbiano on the water at 7:30. And I knew I had to get up in the morning and be ready for the LSAT diagnostic, which is just taking the LSAT in a self-paced way. So I didn't want to hang out. I was like, no, I cannot show up to this test feeling like I just got in at 2:00 in the morning and the test is at 9:30. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So I said no. And I'm glad I did because that test needed all my wherewithal. So I took the LSAT diagnostic on Saturday. Baby! Whatever brain cells I had, whatever cylinders I was firing on, it was like running a damn marathon. I was fatigued. Like I literally was fatigued. And I'm a reader. Thank God I started reading. I started reading a lot voraciously because I really wouldn't have been less prepared. But they were fine because this is just a baseline. And it was a lot of moving parts. It was a lot. It took 2 hours, so it was 2 hours. I was just sitting there trying to, and they guide you, like tell you, okay, we didn't go in order. We didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 sections. So we went like 3, 4, 2, 1, that kind of thing. It was quite challenging. And so my scores didn't register Saturday. So I got up Sunday morning and sat through the test again so that my scores could register. Only one section of my scores registered on Saturday. I was pissed beyond measure because I was like, it's like you run a marathon, you get to the finish line, and they're like, oh, you skipped some part of the marathon or some old mess. It felt like that. So I had to go and do the laps all over again. So I did it yesterday morning. It was fine. It was very peaceful. Actually, it was much better for me to be home doing it than in the space over at the law school space, whatever the hell it was. One of them little buildings at Yale. I'm telling you, Yale got so many tricked out buildings. This building is so new. And it's not new, but it's new. Like it don't even look like people was ever in this building. It's like those cities in China where they build and nobody lives there yet. I don't know. Anyway, so we were there, and so it just had a lot of moving parts. So it was better for me to just be home yesterday and take it. So I did. So it took me 2 hours. I didn't shave off any time. And there's no cheating because you can't. I don't know how people cheat on these things. Unless somebody gives you the test, and even then it's so much. How the hell are you gonna know? I don't even know. So anyway, so I recognized. I'm glad I took it. I recognized the rigors of the beast. That's what I know. I know the rigors of the beast now. I didn't do like some of my classmates, my cohort mates. They took practice tests. They looked. I didn't do any of that. I wanted a clean blank slate because I really wanted this to be a gauge of where I was. And we all did poorly. We just all did poorly. So, which is fine. That's what we were supposed to do poorly. We were supposed to do poorly, but it is rigorous. I get it. I bow down. I get it. So now, tonight we have our small study group, which is 2 hours, 5 to 7, 5:15 to 7:15 or some whole mess. And so we'll go over this and we'll talk about it and they'll get us ready for whatever. And we take another diagnostic in December. We should be vetted. So let me tell you, somebody did me a kindness. Somebody dropped off 2 LSAT prep workbooks for me on the porch Saturday morning. I thought that was the kindest thing because listen, I don't have any money to invest in this beyond what I'm already investing of time and energy. I don't have any money to do this, right? So somebody getting me books was a lovely kindness. And I have a sense I might think who it is. But since they didn't say who it is, I'm not going to say who it is. But thank you. Because me and that book going to be my best friend. Who am I sleeping with? My LSAT test prep books. That's the new lover in town right now. Anybody else thought they was getting on the other side of the bed? You're mistaken. You know what's there? LSAT prep. Because, baby, it is. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I love the rigorous study. I knew I would love rigorous study. I love it. I love being able to make my mind do stuff. I love that kind of commitment to thinking. I love it. So, and pass, fail, whatever the hell it is. I just love being in the mix of it. That's where I'm at. So, let me tell you. So Thursday I was in, I think I already talked about this. That I was in, where was I? I was at Connecticut State University listening to Kamala Harris, Johanna Haynes, and Alexis McGill Johnson. I think I already talked about this. And they were there to have the conversation on a woman's right to choose and the way the Supreme Court it's overturned Roe v. Wade. Listen, for me, this is a lesson in white supremacy. These people don't give a damn whether black women are having abortions or not. This is our fight, but it's not about us. It really isn't. What For me, this fight is about white women not having enough babies, and that scares a lot of these white men and some of these white women. They could crouch her however way they want. I understand what this is really about underneath. You can't tell me otherwise. They don't want these white women, young white women, having abortions. They want these young white women to be having all these babies and all this other kind of stuff. So they want to control what these white women do with their bodies. And we are just collateral damage in this fight, because they don't give a damn about black women and our maternal health, our reproductive health. You can't tell me that there's some concern about that. There is not. With that said, so it was a wonderful conversation to have 3 black women on stage. The second in command of the free world, and the woman who runs Planned Parenthood Federation, and the local elected congressional leader, Johanna Hayes. So there you go. But anyway, so I did that Saturday. And then I just kind of, I went over to, after I finished my test, I went over to Possible Futures and met Jerry Craft. Now, Jerry Craft is a cartoonist. He's an author. He's all these things. But when he came on the scene with the Inner City, and he started with the Inner City from the very beginning with Mama's Boys, the comic strip. I never met him. I've only talked to him on the phone for years and years and years. And then email, when email became a thing. I know. I'm old enough when email was not a thing. So it was lovely to meet him, and to talk to him and to see him and take pictures. It was a wonderful afternoon spent at Possible Futures bookstore. Y'all know that sits right there on the corner of Edgewood and Hotchkiss. Just, it's just a wonderful bookstore. You can't help but enjoy it, right? So anyway, they were there. Professor Foster showed up. And, Professor Foster could go. Let me tell you something. That brother could go. He is a black comic book historian, and he's so full of energy. And I so adore him. I adore him. So it was good. So, I was there. Ife was there. Bianca Kay was there. I mean, all kinds of people. Ken Walton passed through. The young Don McCauley Jr. passed through, Dr. McCauley. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful afternoon. I saw my girl Janeska. She's so cute. She is the cutest thing, and all these kids. And so it was a wonderful day. And so after that, I came on home and chilled out a little bit because, Saturday. I popped by Mike Moran and caught up with him at the Beinecke, and took a little. Let me tell you the coolest thing that he let me do. He let me hold Langston Hughes' pen, his actual ink pen that he used for like 40 years. When he was writing letters, he had a beautiful penmanship. But I think black people in those days who could read and write had beautiful penmanship. He was very deliberate with his penmanship. It was beautiful. So anyway, Mike Moran let me hold the pen. I was in fangirl heaven. And then I got to read some letters that were written by George Washington, like his actual letter. It's freaky. People had beautiful penmanship, in the 1800s. On big paper. Beautiful penmanship. So I got to do that. So anyway, I was hanging out with him because we were talking about a few things that are gonna come up, and what I could lend my voice to, my actual speaking voice to. So I'm excited about that. Happy anniversary, Tom Breen and Lucy Breen. They made a donation to the Freedom Fund. The Freedom Fund is the NAACP. The Freed Woman's Fund. At some point, as soon as January turns, because I said I would give myself till I'm 60 to start doling out this money, and that's just a few months away. And I'm gonna start giving away the money. The money is endowed, like I have it's an endowed fund now. I am a bona fide philanthropist, which does my heart some real good, some real good. And I'm so excited by that. So excited by that. That people were kind enough, and people, here's the thing: what I found out just recently, that people are making recurring gifts to the Freed Woman Fund. Like people every month, some of the same people are giving. Like they have it as part of their giving. I'm so honored. I am beyond honored by that. I'm just honored. So I can't wait to start giving away some of this money, putting it out there and then re-raising more money. I after adopting my children, this is probably one of my most wonderful things I've ever done in my life, aside from adopting children. And I've got a lot of things I could really put up there, graduating college and grad school and elected to office. All that, I could, there's a laundry list of amazing things that I've been able to do. Being in the White House and talking to Bill Clinton, getting an award from the Points of Life Foundation for the work that I did on Jumpstart. There's a lot of things that I could actually happily be proud of, but this aside from raising children, this Freed Woman Fund is monumentous to me. And I was thinking about this the other day because Paul is reading the book by Nicholas Dawidoff, and I had asked him. I said, "Am I mentioning the book?" Because I spent a considerable amount of time, afternoon, with Nikki, and he's like, "I don't think so." And then he must have come across the page where I'm mentioned, and he takes a picture of it. He's like, "Oh yeah, you are in this book." How many books I am in the world that somebody mentions me by name? For me, that's like artistically one of the coolest things. I'm in maybe 3 or 4 books mentioned by my name. Misa Akbar, Jennifer Bazille, Odell, and now Nicholas Dawidoff's book. And I'm so excited. And then I heard from the artist the other night, who is having a baby. I wonder if Kay knows if she's having a baby. Kentura Davis. So Kentura Davis was a Next Haven artist fellow, and she did these works and she did these portraits. She did one of me and one of Kay. And they hung in a museum in New York. They sold before they got to the museum, but they still hung in the gallery. I'm sorry, they still hung in the gallery in New York. But they were sold immediately. I don't know where they were sold to, but to be immortalized in that way is probably right up there with if I got to go to space. Like I'm hanging somewhere in somebody's house or collection, me, and it's called Babz. It's Babz, blah blah blah, something numbered, colored thing, whatever, and it's stunning. Like it's me. I'm living on somebody's wall somewhere. So anyway, I contacted Couture the other day because I like to stay in touch with people on a regular basis. I do this whole thing where I just stay in touch with people around the world, the people I know, and it's so much easy to do these days. Send off a text, a message, blah blah blah, send a note. It's easy. It's not hard for me. It's not a heavy lift. And she sends me back this message. Oh, I'm on maternity leave. I was like, maternity leave? She's 9 months pregnant. This baby is coming any minute now. And she's like, oh man, I have something for you. I told you this last year and I lost track because she went here and there in Africa and all over the place. And she's like, but my assistant's going to get in touch with you because I have something for you. Now, I don't know what this could be. I'm hoping it's the print of the portrait that she did of me. Baby, if that's the case, oh my Lord. Anyway, there's so many little magic moments like that. So many magic moments that just, I'm gonna tell you something. And I know people won't understand this, but if I die today, I will have accomplished a great many dreams on my list. Seriously. And I don't know how many people could say that. I don't know how many people could say that they've done, when you look at my high school yearbook, I had already accomplished that 20 years ago, what I said I was going to do. Well, I haven't become president of the United States, but but I got as close as I'm a humanly kid. I tell you that. I tell you what, I've been in the Oval Office. So baby, let me tell you something. So I pretty much accomplished a great many things. So now I've got there's new dreams. Like, the list is refreshed because I've already done 90% of the things that I even could dream of in the first half of my life. So I'm in this second half. I got new dreams. I got a whole new list. Who knew? I think about this because there's still some things that I want to do. And I'm excited. And I'm like thinking about, how can I do this? How can I do? I mean, like, first of all, doing this job right here as a kid that was sent to the principal's office for talking too much in class, this is like the perfect. Listen, the teachers that taught me as kids are still in this community, in my community, in the New Haven community. Mr. Aquavita, Ms. Chapman, a whole bunch of teachers that knew me when I was a kid who listened to this show. Oh my Lord. I love it. So to all those teachers and to all those kids, if they send you to the principal's office because you talk too much, just know you have a future. You have a future. You have a future. Don't be daunted don't think that you're less than or there's something wrong with you or you must be bad. No, the seeds are just being planted for your trajectory. That's all. Look at it that way. That's how I'm looking at it. Baby. Woo. All right, so what do I got today? So we got study group today. I am going to be doing a lot of talking. I've got a bunch of guests this week. Like, I've got guests. Tomorrow, I got Paul Nunez. He's going to come and talk about Hispanic American Month and how you can give to organizations. And I got to get it right, but I'll give you more information tomorrow. But just know that Paul Nunez, he's a lobbyist, has his own lobbyist firm here in Connecticut. But he's coming on tomorrow, and he's been blowing me off for him and his wife Talia Aiken Nunez because she's an author. She's got like a bunch of children's book, Latino inspired. They've been blowing me off for years and years and years. Now they're good friends of mine because Talia was my first campaign manager, and she's probably one of the best out there. But she doesn't want to do campaign stuff anymore. She's doing it because of mama. So anyway, Paul is coming on tomorrow. I'm excited. Maybe I can get her to come on too, but she, God knows. People think this is heavy lifting. Wednesday, I got the New Haven Docs folks coming on. Gorman is coming on to talk about it's New Haven Docs, documentary films. It's that time of year again, which is exciting. And I am going to be facilitating a panel for them around a film that they sent me and I watched around a school issue in Chicago. And baby, it was just, I'm so glad it ended the way it ended because I was having so much anxiety about the possibilities. Good morning, Margot. Tomorrow also I am hosting Pechacucha at the East Rock Brewery on Nickel Street. So I am the MC for Pechacucha. I'm not doing it. I've done it twice. I'm not doing it. But there's some cool people doing it, like Julia and Miss Dina, a couple other people. It's ladies' night. It's ladies' night. Don't forget to get some distilled water. Ladies' night at Pechacucha. So come have some beers, hear some good stories, And if you come tomorrow, I'll tell you all about what Pecha Kucha is. It's fun. It's one of my favorite things to do, although I'm not doing it this time. So Wednesday I have Gorman on. We're going to talk New Haven Docs Film Festivals. And I love when we talk about it because he tells me all the ones that he likes and ones we'd be surprised by and blah, 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 blah. Thursday, Enru, because we got to get that ancestor healing, baby. We got to get that ancestor healing. So by Thursday, I'll be ready to have that conversation with him. And then Friday, I've got Goldie E. Patrick, who is the director of From the Mississippi Delta, which is going to be at the Westport Country Playhouse. And I'm going to figure out a way to go. My schedule is so tight right now. Like, it's tight. And they want to give me tickets, and I'm just trying to figure out, and it's only there for a little, things are not staying at theaters for like weeks. So it's a finite amount of time that it's there. And night market starts the Ninth Square. No, it's not gonna be the Ninth Square. You know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be Upper Chapel Street. So they're gonna block the street from, I don't know, College to York, and night market would be up that way, which would be kind of cool. They used to do festivals up that way and hold block parties on that street. They would just block it off. I know because my friends used to do it. They used to, Jamie Burnett and Bet Allen and Tom Brown, and they would be striking the stage, putting up lights. I mean, it was just a whole move. So that's happening. Long Wharf Theater is saying goodbye on Friday. So if you want to go see behind the scenes of the theater, which I might do because I've never been behind the scenes in the theater. I've never been back there all this time. And I'm on the damn board. I've never been back there. Some things you just can't do. And then we're having a block party in our new administrative digs over in Audubon. And Audubon is just the right amount of space to have a party. It's just a good space to have a party. So Saturday, come and do that. And then something's going on at the De Silva Gallery. I don't know why. Somebody sent me something that's going on at the De Silva Gallery, and I didn't put it in my notes. I just put De Silva Gallery. Now I got to go back and I don't know why I do that craziness. I have to do better, like putting explicit notes and things, so I know what the hell I'm doing. So anyway, and thank you to the shout out, Pete. I think it's Pete. Thanks for listening to me, Pete. He sent me a message saying he was listening to me and I was rambling on about some kind of economic issue. But he liked my show. So thank you for listening. If you're listening again this morning, I appreciate you, baby. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who tunes in. I do. And I love the way y'all run up on me too. in all the spaces. I appreciate it. So yeah. So this week we are doing a lot of talking. And next week, Monday, Elm City Lit Fest, because that weekend is Elm City Lit Fest. So come and talk about that. Alexis and Lynn next week. Nicholas Dowerdorf next week. The Symphony folks on the 20th. And that's it. So that's a lot. That's a lot of talking. And it don't stop there, because I got the folks who are organizing the New Haven's Finest showcase, which is going to be at the Schubert. And some of the finest talent in New Haven get together and do a performance of their work at the Schubert. So, I'm going to be their MC for that. So come, that'll be fun. That'll be very fun. Very, very fun. And then I got some other folks coming on. I think the Links are coming on. Rue is back on. And Dr. Camelia Lawrence is coming on to talk about breasts, because we're not limited to breast cancer conversation to just October. We got to get these breasts checked. People got to be checking these breasts on the regular. Not just October. I mean, fine if you schedule your mammograms for every October, but you need to be checking your breast particularly you women with fibrous or dense breasts, be checking your breast on a regular basis. And, you know, train your man to get to look too. Because you might miss something. So, you know, I'm just saying, do what you gotta do, people. Do it. Let's save some lives. I just saw an announcement that colonoscopies give you a 50% chance of they have a 50% detection rate. So they can you know, increase your lifespan of curing colorectal cancer if you have a colonoscopy and they can catch it. Come on, y'all. Let's be about our let's be about our healing, you know, our real healing and our health. Because if you don't got your health, you don't got a damn thing. And don't be playing fast and loose with your health. Don't do it. Take care of yourself. Get the tests that you need. Get the checkups that you need. Go see your doctors. All of that. I want to live long. There's so many things I want to do. I can't be messing around. I'm not ready to die yet. I'm like, oh, it's just getting good. Shoot. It's just getting good. So I just listen. I'm here to tell you. So Hall & Oates was at the Mohegan Sun performing, and I know I saw Ruby Melton and Diane Brown, and maybe and Ruby's wife. I think I saw her too, but I know I saw Diane and Ruby. But I had other friends who were there too. Sammy and her guy were there. So go ahead, Hall & Oates. I was playing some 70s music in my car, and a couple of Hall & Oates songs came up. I was like, yeah, go ahead now. Hall & Oates they still rocking out. Good for them. Get it in. Get it in. I finally found me some light roast coffee, because, you know, light roast coffee has the most caffeine. I don't make the rules. I just play by them. So I'm so excited that I get a full jolt of coffee in my system. Woo, I got up this morning, I did some stretching, I did a little workout. I feel really good. And now I got to make this part of my habit. I got some goals, some health goals that I want to hit, because I'll be 60 next year. And oh boy, excited to be 60. I am. I'm not like these other people. And I got some pictures. I posted up a picture for my new profile, and it's a great picture. It's a picture taken by Carissa Van Tassel, and I see that I'm aging. Like I see it, you know, little fine lines under the eyes and whatever. And I know most of you like, I don't even see it. I see it, which is fine. Like I have no intentions of doing anything about it. Like there's no, I don't know what I would do. I'm not Botoxing anything. I'm not doing any of that. I'm gonna age how I age. Whatever wrinkles show up, however this neck gets, that's how it's gonna get. I watched this little video, somebody's TikTok, where they take a tape and then they pull your face all the way back and pull your scalp up and then put your hair over it. And I'm thinking, and I get it. Listen, I'm not knocking nobody's beauty hustle. No, I'm not condemning it. I think you have to do whatever makes you feel good. And if that means taping up your face and pulling it back so that it gives you that look of youth or whatever it is you think you're going for, I don't got no beef with that. And first of all, I'm just saying this is all about what I'm not going to do. me, Babz Rawls-Ivy. I'm not going to fill in wrinkles. Like here's some wrinkles here. Like I'm looking at myself on camera, and I've got some eczema on my right side of my chin, and I got a wrinkle in my forehead. Right, see that? I'm not filling that in so it looks like this all the time, even when I frown. When I frown, I want you to know I'm frowning. When I am displeased, I want you to see my displeasure. I want you to see it. So when I purse my lips, I want you to see all the ring. I want you to know that it's pursed. I'm not kidding you. You know, when I give you that look, I want you to see all of it. I'm not tightening up. I'm not filling in. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just not. I want to age how I age. That's it. And I know people are like, oh, Babz, your skin is so nice. Blah 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 blah. I listen. I didn't create the skin. That's just genetics. I'm just telling you what I'm not going to do to preserve this. I will do a night cream and a morning cream. I'll do an exfoliation. Like, I'll do basic stuff, but I'm not injecting anything in my lips. I'm not having a facelift. I'm not tucking my neck. I'm not doing any of that. If I had the money though, I would hike up my breast. I would do that. I had my breast augmented, I don't know, before grad school. I had about, I don't know, like 13 tumors or some old mess that they had to remove. And so it made my breasts smaller because I had really, really, really large breasts. And so when I had the reduction, because it was, they were just, I had a lot of cancer in my family and all this other kind of stuff. So I had the breast reduction and they took out all these tumors. I'm very tumorous. I'm very tumorous. I have lots of tumors. So anyway, so I would go back and let them do it again and hike them up. But that would be pure vanity. Like that's just wishful talking. In reality, I probably wouldn't do that again because I don't want to be unnecessarily under the knife. And I've had a lot of surgeries in my whole life, a lot, you know, besides just the hip surgeries. I had an emergency appendectomy in my mid-20s. And so I have a scar. And now most people, the appendectomy scars are very, very small, like a cesarean scar. But I have a whole scar at the length of my belly, vertical. It's a vertical scar on the right side of my navel. That is, it's about, I don't know, about as long as my forearm. So I've had a lot of surgeries in my day. So I wouldn't want to go under the knife just for some cosmetic shit. Cosmetic stuff. I just wouldn't want to do it. But I'm just saying, if there was a wish, and that's the wish I could have, I would have these girls hiked up. I'm not trying to get my butt filled in or any of that mess. I don't want a tummy tuck. I don't want any of that. But if I could have the girls hiked up and smaller, that's what I would do. I'm not kidding you. But that's all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. So I'm just saying I'm not doing any heroic measures to be youthful. No heroic measures for youth. I know there are women out there who are blading their face and putting cream. I get it. I'll wash my face, put some moisturizer on, and that's the beginning and the end of it. That's it. I'll do a little hyaluronic oil or acid. I'll do that, you know, to keep the skin supple. But any other heroic measures beyond that, I'm not getting the Botox. I'm not getting a peel. I'm not doing any of that. I'll go and sit and have a good facial. I'll do that. So no shade to the women who feel like that's what they want to do. I just got other things on my mind. And I know this, beauty is fleeting. And really, physical beauty is such the least of things on the scale of what makes you beautiful. Physical beauty is probably at the low end of the totem pole. There's so much more to us than how we look. And this is because I'm older. I've learned a thing or two. I've learned a thing or two, you know, and I don't want to be a slave to keeping up a level of beauty that is elusive, forever elusive. I don't have that. I don't have that energy. Um, and so you won't see me chasing beauty that way. I'm not going to do it. Mhm. So that's why I don't mind being fat. It doesn't. I used to be chasing this idea of I need to be less, and by less, smaller and thinner. And I know people are like, oh, but health. I got a better A1C than some people I know who are thin. you know, I have very little cellulite on my body. Like I don't have puckery skin or anything like that. I'm not this. I don't have any of those issues. Yes, I'm not even diabetic anymore, to tell you the truth. Uh, I have high blood pressure. That runs in my family. Some of that stuff is just genetic stuff. I don't care what you do. Um, I don't care what you do. If it's cholesterol and high blood pressure, if it's genetically, and yes, there are people who can reverse it, and you can reverse it. And I've dropped down medication wise for a lot of things, but that was mostly because of diet. When you stop eating meat, a lot of that stuff goes away. A lot of that stuff goes away. Your cholesterol levels level off, your blood pressure levels off. When you stop eating high concentrations of meat, and it's not just red meat, it's all kinds of meat, so, and I don't eat a lot of meat anyway. If I'm somewhere, I'll have a chicken or a steak or something. But when I eat out, I don't have those things on a regular basis. I usually get vegan kinds of things, because it's just the way that I eat these days. So, and now that I can move around a little bit more, I can incorporate some walking and some other exercise that'll probably trim me down a lot more, because I couldn't for the last couple of years because of these hips, so much pain. So, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't. I've long since given up hating being fat, because that's another level of self-hatred, and we live in a culture that really hates fat people and thinks that somehow or other thinness is more attractive. And I don't have a problem with the people being attracted to me. That's never been my problem. I've never been without the attentions of men. Come on. No, who? What? It's not because I'm thin. It's because I'm fabulous. So, I'm not having those. If people have a problem with me being fat, that is their problem with themselves about me. It has nothing to do with me. I don't concern myself with that anymore. I just don't. And I don't deal with people. I don't even get in these conversations with people when they start having these ridiculous conversations about weight loss and, oh, I got to lose weight. And I don't engage in those conversations. I just sit there and be quiet because it's just small, ridiculous conversations that don't go anywhere. People want to talk about what they eat in a diet all the time. And I just look at them and I'm like, all right, well, if that's how you want to spend your time talking about that stupid stuff, go ahead. I got to lose 10 pounds or, I'm on this. I was like, whatever. Okay. Good. But guess who's out here having a good ass time? Guess who's being invited to all the fun things? I'm not having those conversations with people about diet and all of that. I just don't engage it because this is what I know, and I've noticed this over the last several years that people, when people start having these conversations about fatness and weight, and you're fat and then you're in the space, they're really trying to say they don't find you attractive, like they are repulsed by your fatness. And they want to make you feel bad about being fat. I can't tell you how many conversations I've been with people who start these conversations about weight loss and fatness and, and all these kinds of things. And I know why they're doing it, because they know that I'm fat, and they think that, that somehow or other I'm going to be shamed by that or less than. I'm not going to be any of that. I just have the confidence of who I am. And here's the thing about me. And I've been fat for quite some time. I never allowed my fatness to dictate how I move in the world. I just move in the world. That's just what it is. I didn't know you were here. I thought you was gone. My daughter is here. I didn't even know she was here. Oh, that's right. You know what? I thought I heard you. I was like, oh, and I said, oh, she's gone early this morning. Okay. Why, are they doing work on the street?
Mm-hmm. Paving it again.
Oh, they're paving our street. Hooray. So when I tell you I'm accepting of who I am, I mean that. And I was looking at my journals, and I was looking at some old Facebook posts and and I spent a lot of time trying to lose weight. A lot of time. And I didn't realize how much time I spent trying to lose weight. And I actually lost weight because I needed to have this surgery. He was like, you need to lose 50 pounds. I lost it. I buckled down and I lost it and got the surgeries that I needed. Now I've since put 50 pounds back on, which is, whatever it is. And he'd like me to lose it again. And I probably will. And then we'll level off to some degree, because you put it back on when you get out of the routine or whatever it is you were doing. And once you have the first surgery, you got to wait for that to heal before you can do anything. They tell you there's not a whole lot you can do. You have to, there's some exercises that you can do. You do a little bit of walking, but you can't overdo it. And you got to go easy. And then 6 months later, I had the second surgery. And that's how I stacked it. I wanted to be all done within a year. I didn't want to wait a year for the second surgery. I was like, what can we do humanly possible? And they were like 4 to 6 months. I was like, okay. So he got me in the 6 month mark. I was like, all right, that's what we do. So the left hip hadn't healed fully when I got the right hip done, which is fine. But now I think I'm a year out, a year and a half for the first hip and a year the second hip. So that puts me in a good place. So I can start moving and be about the business of physical exercise. But that's it. Like, I'm no longer having these conversations about losing weight. I'm not putting that on my mind. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not having that conversation. I'm not even going to gauge that conversation with people. When people start having that kind of conversation in my presence, I'm gonna shut up. Because that's just not the conversations I want to be having with people. I'm not kidding you. I'm not having these fat shaming conversations with people. I don't want to hear people talk about how much they hate, this much weight or whatever. I love everything about myself. And that has taken me 59 years to get here to say that. And I mean it. Listen, you don't like fat women? You don't got to like fat women. What the hell? I'm not desperate. I'm not thirsty. I'm not unhappy. And I'm not lacking for any kind of attention whatsoever. I'm done. I like myself. As my friend Ife will say, I like the company of myself. I like the company of myself. And I watch these people get all weepy and, oh, I want a man. I want to get married. Okay, good. I've had men and I've been married. You know what I want now? Absolute freedom. Absolute freedom, and I shall have it. That's what I want. I want absolute freedom. I don't, people can have whatever they want, you know, and, and, and I don't say that because I want everybody to feel the way I feel. No, I think I want people to feel however way they want to feel, whatever makes sense for their life. I just know for me, I'm not looking for anything other than my own absolute happiness. That's it. Now, if a brother or man comes my way and he got something on the ball, and he's got something about himself, and he don't need a mama, and he don't need a big sister, and he don't need, he can carry himself in the world, he's well read and well traveled, I might give him some conversation. But I'm not looking. I'm not. I'm just about my own freedom and liberation. I mean that. I've not been, I am the happiest I have ever been in my entire life. In this moment, right now in my life, I'm the happiest. And now granted, there's a lot of things that are not going right. Like my apartment does not reflect my fabulousness. It does not. But there's nothing I can do about that in this moment, except small things to sort of make it more to my liking. But circumstances arise, and you got to yield to circumstances. It doesn't stop me from being fabulous. I got somewhere to lay my head every night. Bills are paid. I'm happy. This is the happiest I've been in my whole life, right this minute. Right this minute. And I'm not going to trade that for anything. And I'm not going to let anybody come in and disrupt this level of peace and freedom and liberation that I am building for myself. I'm not doing it. No one is going to come in and throw me off my path. Now, I get romance and sex and excitement and getting it. I who doesn't love all that stuff? As romantic as I am, I love it. I love it. But those are moments. I'm talking about real freedom and liberation, so that when somebody does come my way, and if they come my way now, I'm ready. I'm always ready. Why? Because I'm happy with myself. I love myself. I can't be gaslighted. I'm not going to tolerate a whole lot of things. I don't need to. I just don't need to. I don't need to. I like who I am. I like the life that I get to lead. I like the people that I roll with. I love my girlfriends. I do. I have such a good time with them. I enjoy their company. I like who they are. I like the stuff that they're working on. I love seeing them do all the things that they want to be doing. I love the way that they build community. I love the way they are in my community. Far and wide. Far and wide. I go to bed. I don't got no worries on my brain. I wake up. I don't got no worries on my brain. And I remember in my life, I had so many worries and fears and things that it almost caused me to take my own life. I look back at that, not ashamed or embarrassed, just like, man, that was a dark time. That was a very dark time. Very dark times. But now, baby, we all good. So I'm just saying. So what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. And I get to live a beautiful life, and I'm excited about that. I'm happy about what I get to do, where I get to be, and at this part of my life. I really am. I mean, there's some things that I like to do more of. Yeah, there is. A few more things. Clear my plate of a few more things, and I will. And I'll be good. I'm a Taurus, so I'm a creature of habit and comfort. I'm a Taurus, so Or as my friend Bet Allen says, the goddess of fine food and wine, fine food and drink. Yes, those are my pleasures. My pleasures. I like comfort. I like a lot of comfort. I don't like roughing it. I like comfort. You know, I like an ease. I like softness and, you know, gentle textures, and I like all that kind of stuff. Luxury. I like luxury. I like luxury. All right, so we gotta pause for station identification and PSAs, and Nora's gonna play it for us in a minute. Y'all are listening to LoveBabz LoveTalk on 103.5 FM WNHH. You know, we're live streaming all over the place. So Nora, run them PSAs. I'll be back at about 10:15 because, you know, I gotta take a break, and y'all be good.
Do you know if the kids have to get the COVID vaccine for school? My 5-year-old starts kindergarten this year.
It's not required, but I did get mine vaccinated to be on the safe side. There were several cases of COVID in the classes this year, and I'm happy they all stayed healthy.
I just keep wondering if the COVID vaccine is the right thing for my child.
I understand fully, and from what I've seen, there's been no major issues with my friends or their children.
The COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective, and it improves people's lives. Thanks to this vaccine, there is less spread and fewer symptoms reported by those who get infected. Now everyone over the age of 6 months can get it, and no appointment is necessary. Find out more at nhvvax.com, nhvvax.com. Make summer safer. Protect your family from COVID-19. Anyone over 9 months old can get vaxxed. No appointment necessary. Visit nhvvax.com. That's nhvvax.com for everything you need to know.
I'm New Haven Health Director Marissa Babz. If you or your family have COVID-19 symptoms or think you were exposed to someone with COVID, quarantine, stay home, and get tested on day 5 if possible. If you have COVID, isolate, wear a mask, vaccinate, get boosted, and tested as needed. Those are the best ways to stop the spread of COVID. At this time, we are vaccinating everyone ages 5 and up. Stay safe, New Haven, for all of us.
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
I wanna dance all night, Monday morning, and I'm sick of this job already. When Tuesday gets here, I'm already hoping for the hump day. Wednesday night, calling my girls, making sure our plans are still tight. Thursday brings a smile, 'cause I won't be putting up with this bull in a little while. Me and my girls, we turned it up last week. The boys love this club 'cause ladies get in free. We love to party, dance all night, work all day. Friday's here and the week is out the way. Hit the floor, just past 10, 2400, and we do it again. 'Cause I wanna dance all night. Oh boy, all night. It's funny, but I don't have the strength to put up with the things that my boss is expecting me to. Even though it's paying the rent, I'm not paid enough to not have an attitude. It doesn't feel right that I work so hard all day and then I'm supposed to sleep through the night. Take care of all that works out the way. So ladies, put your sexy on and tell them that we're hanging tonight. So if you handle yours like a boss like me, put your hands together so they all can see that we've come to party. Dance all night, work
life tried to flip, didn't get tossed. In the pearly whites, time to floss. Got top billing, counted the cost. Everybody knows that you a go-getter. Said it with a smile as you earned your cheddar. Worked real hard, and who could do better than you, Bob? Got through the week, I didn't even trip when we didn't speak. Yo, I'm JK, and I'm doing my thing with my big sis, settling champagne king.
Dance all night, work all day. Friday's here and the week is out the way. Hit the floor, just past 10, 2400 and we do it. Dance all night, work all day. Friday's here and the week is out the way. Hit the floor, just past 10, 2400 and we do it. Dance all night, come on, work all day. Friday's here and the week is out the way. Hit the floor, just past 10, 2400 and we do it. So if you handle yours like a boss like me, put your hands together so that they can see. Hit all night, just past 10, 2400 and we do it.
This is Ace Livingston, and you're listening to 103.5 FM, WNHH.
And when I say who's out, y'all know what time it is. Who's out? This song could be about love, but it's not. Cause you didn't check in his baggage. He had cash and he really looked hot. This song could be about your happiness, but you're so focused on his bait, you're gonna let a good catch get away. This song could be about how we first met, but how we gonna reminisce when you haven't got over him yet. This song could be about what you're searching for. You're looking all over town, and I'm knocking on your front door. This could be, this could be, it could be about us. This could be all about us. This could be, but it ain't gonna be about us. This could be. This song could be about our wedding day, but you just had to go to see him. That decision left me in dismay. This song should be about when I got your call saying you weren't ready for marriage, that you couldn't commit at all. This song should be about our happy years. Instead it's about when he hurt you, I was there to dry your tears. This song could be about how I'm not around. See, I came to my senses, putting my feet back on the ground. This could be, it could be about us. This could be all about us. This could be, but it ain't gonna be about us. This could be. If I met this badass shorty, then you fell in love. Now it's been 3 weeks since I heard from you. I was thinking about sending in my rescue crew. The time he said, really said it all. Saw you carrying some chick's bag at the mall. Standing on line with the skinny jeans, looking like Ashton Kutcher in the movie scene. And you're crazy about her, and you can't live without her, 'cause she's blown your mind. Yeah, D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Crazy about her, and you can't live without her. So your money and your time, D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Now how you got with I didn't understand, so I had to come up with a master plan. Figure some time for us to hang out, show you that the dollars is what she's about. She invited a friend to tag along, and this is where it gets funky in the song. 'Cause she came through the door with the faded jeans, looking like a model in a magazine. She's fine, she's bad. A girl like this I never had. You and I had nothing but time, with skinny jeans on the line. Crazy about her, now I can't live without her, 'cause she's blown my mind. Yeah, D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Crazy about her, and I can't live without her. I took my money and my time. D-I-M-E, she's a dime. By the time she's got her hooks in you, it's too late to figure what to do. But you won't ever wanna get away. She knows what to do to make you stay. Crazy, I can't live without her, 'cause she's blown my mind. Yeah, D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Crazy about her, and I can't live without her. I took my money and my time. D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Crazy about her, and I can't live without her, 'cause she's blown my mind. Yeah, D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Crazy about her, and I can't live without her. I took my money and my time. D-I-M-E, she's a dime. Yeah, come on. Sitting at the party, rocking back and forth, acting like you divorced. Your legs from the dance floor. Girls are saying they want more. Fellas to get on the floor. Then somebody screams, it's got to be J-King on the scene. They know that I'm a party fiend, so of course I stay dressed. Dolce Gabbana, Versace, yes. No, I have to impress. Can't come with nothing less than all of my gusto. Cats want the battle, but they don't know just which way I flow. You might be right, but don't you know that my game is tight? Got you right in my sights. Let's believe all the hype. We're gonna rock tonight. Yo, can you meet me in the dance floor? You got too much, yourself to the dance floor. Got all these shorties, and they're all screaming more. Got so much that they wanna show you. Want you to think that they know you. You got too much, yourself to the dance floor. You got all these fellas, and they're all looking for just the right girl that they wanna flow to. Want you to think sitting in VIP, and everyone's eyes on me. But I wonder who is she? No doubt the baddest shawty. Think she walked right past me.
Welcome back to LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. We're on 103.5 WNHH FM. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, because that's what we're calling it. We are no longer calling it Columbus Day. We are calling it Indigenous People Day because when Columbus got here, these folks was already here. Imagine somebody coming over your house and like, I discovered this house. And you're like, no, you didn't. We're here. You know, as I am reading The Color of Law for class, I'm starting to understand why white folks don't want what they imagine critical race theory to be, which is, you know, just history. I get it, because I'm telling you, I struggle with this stuff too, and you know, I have a class on Thursdays. And it was about state-sanctioned violence. And just to look at that stuff, I get it, white people. If I were y'all, I probably would shy away from this too, because y'all have been the architects of a great deal of genocide, destruction, chaos, and just pain and suffering in the world. So that's a hard pill to swallow. I get it. Press on, white people. Press on. Press on. If we can press on, you can press on. If indigenous people can press on, white people, you can press on. I know. And it's not like, you know, white supremacy is gone the way of the dinosaur. It has not. Listen, those people in Ukraine woke up this morning in Kiev, Ukraine, this morning, get ready to go to work, get right there, coffee, and here comes Putin again, lobbing them with bombs and stuff. I know they're like, when is this going to be over? I know they're like, can somebody go and push him down the stairs or something in Russia? Because this, you know, listen, somebody tell Putin, these people are not going to let you take their country. You've been at this, 6 months now, damn near 9 months, or however many months it's been. These people are not going to let you take their country. They're not going to let you annex parts of their country. They're not going to let you do it. And you're going to be fighting this war to the detriment of your Russian people at every turn. You've already seen thousands and thousands and thousands of your people, men, fleeing the country. You have a country full of women who got to care for children, and they're not going to suit up and fight. They're just not, because they're raising children and trying to hold it down. So, you know, I don't understand this dictator leadership ideology. I don't get it. If I'm the leader of a country, I want my country to be the best country on the earth. I want my people to be models for how the world could look. Not this, I'm going to grind my people into the ground at my own expense. Like, why? I don't understand that leadership thinking. Why would you want to grind your people like that? You don't care about people. You don't care about your own people. You don't care about them. You want to treat them like trash? Because you are never going to put back the USSR. Never. First of all, dude, you're like 70 something years old. How much more time you think you got on this planet before you start to get really, really sick and got to be taken out of there? You know, before your mind goes, before your body shuts down. How much more time you think you got with this mess? And sure, they'll get another crazy cat running Russia. But I doubt if they get one that'll want to do this mess that you're doing, because you're going to need to rebuild your country. Honest to God. I wish Russian people could understand that what is happening to them doesn't secure their future. What it does is puts them onto a path of misery that that their children won't be able to recover from. That's really what it is. So you got a leader who gives no care about your well-being or the future of Russia. He just in this moment, and it's probably already has the makings of early onset dementia. Not even early onset, just the beginnings of that, with this kind of behavior and this kind of I don't know what this is. Like, treat your country, do well in your country. Stop trying to take over other people's countries. They don't want to come back to under that rule. And you know, listen, I think Russian people got to stand up now and start fighting back. You know, because I know the men are leaving. They're leaving in droves. Nobody's going to try to go fight. They're going to go fight a war for what? That where you'll never have peace? Say you win. You're gonna always be fighting these people on their land because they never gonna give it up. They never gonna give it up. You'll never be able to have peace in that country. Never. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. And the rest of the world needs to come down harder on you. The Russian people now, it's in your hands. You all gotta start fighting in the streets. You all gotta take to the streets and start fighting in the streets, because they can't arrest you all. They can't have troops in another part of the world, in another part in Ukraine, and try to have peace and quiet at the house. Y'all get in them streets and start fighting. What? What are they gonna do? And you could overtake the police. You could do it. It's more of y'all than them. Get to fighting. Get busy. Get in these streets. Because y'all not gonna have a future with this guy running your country. You're not gonna have a future. Your kids not gonna have a future. Your grandchildren are not gonna have a future. They're not gonna have a future. They're not doing anything to build a future. What they're doing is creating a path to destruction. Don't y'all want some peace? Don't you want to have something? Don't y'all want a better quality of life? You don't want that? You want to be constantly in struggle for something that was already done? Come on. You got to be kidding me. What kind of leader are you that you don't want to see your people rise up and win? What kind of leader are you? Dictators are us. All these dictators, I don't get it. I wouldn't want to be a dictator. I would want my country to look like, damn, they thriving over there. They thriving. I want to be down with them because they thriving. They got clean air, clean water. People got good housing. People have good jobs. The educational system is on point. Listen, we don't even have that in America. It ain't without trying. But God knows, y'all just grinding your people in the dirt. I was like, Jesus. I'm like, you're killing, just wholesale killing people. And that goes for any dictator. Listen, I got smoke for Putin. I got smoke for some of these African dictators. I got smoke for Kim Jong-un. I've got smoke for China. I got smoke for all these dictators. I got smoke for all y'all. Seriously. Y'all just running your people in the ground. Why? What is this? I'm trying to understand. Don't you want your people to have a good, prosperous life? I don't understand why you grinding them in the dirt. I don't see the point of it. And in this day and age, We still using tools of mass destruction. In this day and age, we still wholesale killing people for a takeover. And what are you going to do with this takeover? You can't even run Russia. You can't even run your own country. You can't even feed your own people. Your own people are suffering. How are you trying to take over? And do you think that the world does not see you? See, that's the thing when these old cats run stuff. They forget. This is a new day. We are in a digital age. We see what's happening. There's no iron curtain. We see. You got shears up, man. We see it. We see you. There's no secret. Come on. Oh, you're gonna control the media. No, you cannot. There's somebody always with some underground connection. Listen, if you learn anything from the transatlantic slave trade to this country, you understand something about how information can flow. The Underground Railroad worked because there was people who were willing to do that work and to go against the laws and government, all that kind of stuff for the greater good of freedom. Same thing in your country, dude. There's people that got underground internet access and all that stuff. And you may think you shutting it down or rooting it out or whatever. But there is always resistance. There is resistance. There is resistance. It's a real thing. There's always going to be people who are going to work for the greater good at great expense to their personhood and to their livelihood and all of that. And God bless those people. God bless those people who said, we're going to break the laws. Because, you know, in this country, it was illegal. It was against the law to teach Black people to read and write. Slavery was a legal entity. You were not human. You were property. You were chattel. And if you ran away, you were property. You were returned. You know. So resistance is real. Men and women of good conscience lead revolutions all the time. History bears this out. I know there's Russians underground running internet access, getting information out and feeding information. I know there is. I know it. I know it because the greater good requires it, calls for it. There's always going to be good men and women of conscience who will put their lives on the line. We've seen it time and time again. Harriet Tubman, all these people, John Brown, all kinds of people, you know, then, now, everywhere. So I don't understand how we are in this day and age having this level of destruction on any continent. On any continent. Why are we wholesale killing people over a cause or an idea or ideology or whatever? Why are we allowing him to do this? Because he has nuclear weapons and he's threatening. Listen, let me tell you something. I would call that bluff. Like, listen, let me tell you something. You got nuclear weapons, but let me tell you how the wind blows. As soon as you drop it, it's gonna blow back on your people, and you won't be able to recover. You won't be able to recover. No one will be able to recover. What are you doing? I don't understand how people. Who is running these? Who? Why? Running this world this way? It's outrageous to me. With all the technology, with all the intellectual capital that exists in the world, we are still warring? Seriously? You know, there's cheaper ways to kill a whole bunch of people without tanks and guns. So, whole cheaper ways to do it. That's just men mess. That's just men swinging their genitalia. Otherwise, I don't understand any of this. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Too much. But onward and upwards. We'll keep holding them in prayer, and all the people who are under persecution in the world. We'll keep holding them in prayer. And I know there are people working behind the scenes. I get it. I know. There's people working behind the scenes and doing what they can. And if we could get Miss Griner up out of there, and let's not lose sight of her being there. Like let's keep this in the forefront of our hearts and minds. She's been going there for years and years and years, elevating their basketball league, their women's basketball league, and this is what they do. And I don't, when I first heard the story, I was like a lot of people. I was like, girl, what are you doing? But then now, as time went on, I was like, that's just a setup. That's just a setup. She's been going there for years and years and years, and now they're just saying this stuff. Please. So I'm just saying, anyway, let's just keep Brittany Griner in our hearts and prayers. Her wife has been so amazingly gracious and steadfast, and trying to keep this in the forefront of people's hearts and minds. And I know that cannot be easy, I know that cannot be easy, and I know there are people working on this issue as we speak, working to get her out of there, working for her a quick release, before they send her off to some damn labor camp. Boy, oh boy. And now, you know what, we should just boycott. No more athletes go over there and play for them. Like nobody, men, women, anybody. I don't care if you play jacks. Don't go over there and play with them. They need to be shut out for a little while out of civilized conversation and civilized organized sports. They need to be just shut out. They can't come to the Olympics. They can't come to the World Games. They can't even come to Special Olympics. Like, just shut them out. Just act like they don't exist in the world for a period of time. That's what you got to do. Just don't let them participate in nothing. Just say, oh no, you can't. Nope. We protesting. Just to protest. And this is peaceful. We not shooting guns at you. We not lobbing insults. We're not doing anything. We just uninviting you to stuff. Because y'all don't know how to play nice in the sandbox. And so if you can't play nice in the sandbox, you can't play. That's just how the world's got to get down with them. Just really has to get down with them like that. Just cut them off for a period of time. And I know that people going to suffer. The people going to suffer. I get it. I get the humanitarian aspect of this, but, listen, dictator actions have to have consequences. Has to have consequences. I feel very strongly about that. I feel very, very, very strongly. I feel very strongly about that. But alas, we have our own problems in this country. And God knows we have a lot of problems. A lot. I tell you what I'm having trouble with is people thinking that police officers are somehow or other have some kind of superpowers that you have to obey them in ways that goes against what the law says. And it is not against the law to question police officers when they stop you. It is not against the law. And here's this backhanded notion of just comply, even though you don't have to comply. So, because the goal is to get home. And so that makes me think that the police officer can just kill you without cause or make up cause to kill you and get away with it, because that's what's been happening. And we've got to come to grips about what we want policing to look like in this country. No one should have a cop roll up on them and then they automatically see it as a death sentence. Oh my God, a cop pulled me over, so therefore I know this might be the end. That is not good for any community. That is stress and post-traumatic stress rolled into one. That we somehow or other empowered police to be the Gestapo, right? Like, how did we get here? Well, I know how we got here: white supremacy, racism, and a disregard for humanity. That's how we got here. How do we get away? How do we move forward? Particularly when you just saw a case where a new police officer, is this in Texas? A new police officer, 7 months on the job, throws out all the training he's been given and kills this kid in his car. This kid is at a fast food restaurant eating a burger with a friend, parked, and he's gonna get out of his car and he's gonna say, oh, that's the car that ran off from me the other week. And I'm thinking, and it wasn't. It's just, he just made that up or thought it was that guy or kid or whatever. And then he goes to the car, opens the door, and then shoots this kid. Well, the kid drives off. He's like, what are you doing? I'm having a burger. I'm going home. And then he shoots him, kills him. How does that keep happening? How does that keep happening? You know why? Because we are allowing that to happen. Because we are getting away from what we want policing to be and empowering them to be judge, jury, and executioner. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Now listen, for every one of those kinds of cases, you get cases where people are shooting at cops deliberately, and cops have to defend themselves, and cops get killed in the line of duty. That's a different animal. We're not talking about that. The majority of the population of people are not shooting at cops. They're not trying to kill cops. The majority of people respect the work that cops do. That policing is an honorable profession, and we need them. The majority of people feel that way. I know it. The problem I have, the problem that I have is that we've got to put in some other kind of training opportunities and training schedules so that cops connect their humanity to what they do. I'm not suggesting that, they have to be soft on crime. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we've got to train them to sort of think about humanity when they are doing their work. Because there's too many people dying at the hands of police officers. And it's usually not because they're shooting at cops. It's because cops feel like they're being disrespected, and I will show you kind of mentality. Just a blatant disregard. You just because somebody pull somebody over and they talk slick to you, that you don't get to police that. You get to state why you're pulling them over. And if you're not arresting them, what are you doing? You don't got to give nobody a talk or some kind of, you're not their father or their parent or any of that stuff. I don't understand any of that. And I've been pulled over by cops, And the attitude is one that is just, it doesn't fit what is happening in the moment. Like, what are you doing? But there are great cops out there. I know a great many of amazing police officers who understand that the work that they're doing is the safety of community and of people. There's so many good cops out there who understand that, who understand it, who just want to do their job because it's an honorable job and they care about community and where they are. There's a lot of good cops like that. a lot of good cops. And I think it's going to take good cops to say, hey, this is not how I want my job to be viewed as. I don't want to be seen as the enemy, because I'm not, because I care about kids playing in the neighborhood. I care about all these things. And I'm not going to treat everybody that I come in contact with as a bad actor. I'm not going to treat everybody I come in contact with as a bad actor. And that's yes, Senator Winfield. The issues as lawful orders are usually clearly defined in statute. We did this in 2021. You know, so I don't know how we get to the humanity of people, unless they get the role playing in training, in training, where, you know, they get shoved against a car or a gun get pulled on them or something like that, like some real life kind of experiences to make them think, I don't like this, so therefore I'm not going to do this. I don't like this, so therefore I don't like to do this. And I tell you, I don't like cops behind me. And I was a damn police commissioner for 3-4 years. I don't like cops pulling up behind me. And I know when they pull up behind me, they run my plates. I know it. You know, I know it. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling of what is going to happen in this situation. And I've had cops, you know, tail me a little bit. Not recently, but I've had it happen. You know, I don't like that feeling either. You know, because I'm always thinking, okay, who do I need to call? Because, you know, and years ago, I used to have police captains' phone numbers in my phone. I was like, you know what? If I get pulled over, I'm gonna call Chief so-and-so right now. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone, because this is not gonna go well. And I know everybody does not have that privilege to do that. Thank God I never had to do that. But there were moments when I felt like, wait a minute, what is happening here? I tell you about the time I was in Hampton, and the Hampton cop pulled me over. My kids was little. I had a minivan. I had a Ford Windstar, and a police pulled me. It was like, I don't know, it was like 10 o'clock at night. We were coming. I think I was coming from something. But I was driving through Hampton on Whitney Avenue, up by early Whitney had like a couple of blocks from their city hall, from their town hall, and like going under the bridge. And a cop pulled me over, and I wasn't speeding. I mean, I'm in a minivan. Like, minivans are not Formula One cars, right? A minivan is not a Formula One car, so I'm not speeding first, because I got my babies in the car. So and it's an egg on wheels. Egg on wheels don't go fast. You never see egg on wheels in chase scenes in movies. You just don't see it. So he pulled me over, and he's like talking a little slick to me, like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Where am I going? I'm going home." So then he goes, "Well, where are you coming from?" Where am I coming from? And this is how I'm talking to him, because I'm getting annoyed. I was like, "Where am I going?" I said, "Officer, is something happening? Like, what is happening?" He's like, "Well, it's late at night." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not 12. I'm a grown ass woman with 4 babies in the car. And then by this point, my kids they starting to wake up, so they sit up because the car has stopped. And so they're thinking we home. So they sit up, and then they see the flashing lights, and they're nervous. I'm nervous because I'm like, what's going on here? So at that time, I still had my police badge, because, you know, police commissioners, we all had little badges, and my police ID. I kept it in my wallet. So when he was like, "Give me your license and registration," I'm like, he was talking a little slick, a little hot to me. So I was like, all right. So I give him my license and my registration, you know, all the documents that they asked me for. And I hand him my badge and my New Haven police commissioner identification, which I still have. And then he goes to his car, he runs my place, come back, and he's like, "Okay, Nice to meet you, Commissioner Ivy, blah, 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 blah. I said, sir, why did you pull me over? Oh, it's just routine stuff. I was hot. When I got home, I called Mel Waring, was the chief at that time. I called him up. And he's like, Babz, don't you worry, I got this. And he called the Hamden police and told them, don't you ever do that again. Like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You know, he only did it because I was black. That's the old, there was no other reason. I'm in the egg on wheels. What? Last I checked, drug dealers is not driving minivans and they don't have kids in the car. I didn't rob no liquor store, nothing. I'm just coming through Hamden. And I know Hamden is notorious. You know, if they're not sitting on that New Haven Hamden line looking for trouble, then they try to pull you over, you know, when you're in Hamden proper. It just made me nervous because it made my kids nervous. And he never really said what he pulled me over. I didn't have a broken tail light. Everything worked. Like, it was a new minivan. It was just a terrible feeling. It was just a terrible, terrible feeling. Terrible feeling. So anyway, for the purposes of subdivision, a lawful order is an order issued by a police officer who is in uniform or has identified him or herself as a police officer to the person such order is issued to at the time such order is issued, and which order is reasonably related to the fulfillment of the duties of the police officer who is issuing such order, does not violate any provision of state or federal law, and is only issued for the purpose of preventing, detecting, investigating, or stopping a crime, protecting a person or property from harm, or apprehending a person suspected of a crime, enforcing law, regulating traffic, assisting in emergency relief, and including in administration of first aid. That's the duty. That's the duty. Not beat my ass because I'm talking slick, or you think I'm talking slick, or you think I'm being disrespectful. I'm not a child. I'm 59 years old. You're not going to talk to me in any kind of way. I don't care. He's like, sir, and I'm respectful. But I wasn't 59 at the time that this happened. But it just you know, it just works my nerves. But I've never had any problems with New Haven cops. I've never had, even when I got pulled over by New Haven cops, they've been nice. They've been very nice and respectful. I've never had any problems with New Haven cops. I never. Each time they pulled me over, and I've been pulled over a few times, you know, a couple of times by cops who knew me and they just wanted to say hi. And they've since retired, so I'm not getting nobody in trouble. So a couple of times I got pulled over, flashing lights. I was like, who the heck? What the hell? I was like, oh. And then there was a couple of times I ran through a red light, or I ran a stop sign or something. And I don't do that anymore, like, because I just find that to be risky. But when you're driving at night, you know, I remember I got pulled over one time at I was driving my brother when he first came out. We had to drive him to Waterbury for work. His job was in Waterbury, so we had to drive him at like 3:00 in the morning. And I was coming down Whaley Avenue by where the gas station sits, right there on Whaley and Davis Street, Dayton Street. And there's a gas station right there, but there's a red light like right there. And I was going to the gas station. So the light was red. So I turned right into the gas station from the red light, and the cop pulled me over and gave me a ticket, talking about, you can't do that. You can't. I was like, sir, there's no other cars out here. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm getting gas. He was such an asshole about that. I mean, I listen, if I broke the law, I broke the law, but you could give me some grace about that. So he gave me a ticket. My brother was a little freaking out because he was like, I want no trouble. I just got home. I got to get to work. I mean, we got there, but I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed, and I challenged the ticket and it got thrown out. But the fact that that was going, I as a single woman, as a Black woman, there's some things that I will make a judgment call out there in these streets when I'm driving at night. I just will. I'm not going to sit at a red light, and New Haven's red lights are notoriously long. And I just feel unsafe when I'm sitting someplace where it says no turn on red. And I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, or it's where I'm leaving some event or some bar or some restaurant or whatever. And it's late at night. I don't want to be sitting in neighborhoods that I know are hot. You know what neighborhoods are hot. I live in a hot neighborhood. I don't want to be sitting at a red light in a hot neighborhood or any neighborhood. And all New Haven neighborhoods are hot if you're there at the right time. So I just don't want to do it. So I'll turn. I'll make a judgment. I'll make that turn off of where it says do not turn. I'll like, I'm not sitting here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and this light takes about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. I could be halfway. I could be already pulling in my driveway. I'm just saying. So it's these kinds of safety decisions that, so many of us have to make because, during the day, who cares? During the day, I'm less likely to do that because there's like people wild, traffic is moving, there's all kinds of activity. But when you come home late at night after 11 o'clock at night, midnight, whatever, particularly in the summer and, things is jumping off and, people, it's just, I just have to make a safety judgment, and I do. And I'm not apologizing for that. I'm a good driver. I'm very thoughtful, and I like to follow the rules of the road. But there are moments when you're like, I'm not going to sit here. Nope. Because these lights are long. Listen, if you want to roll with me some nights, I'll show you all the lights that are questionable. There are some questionable lights that ought to be like turning quickly so that nobody is dawdling, like nobody is sitting there. I'm popping my fingers like quick, because it gives you pause to think about your own safety and putting yourself in harm's way. And this whole carjacking business is very real, and people are still out there doing that mess. God help me, because I can't run anymore, right? So, if somebody carjacks me, they got to give me a minute to get out the car, and hopefully they won't snatch me and drag me out the car and throw me on the ground on these new hips. I'm like, listen, you had a car. Let me get out gently and easily. That's my only requirement. Don't snatch me and throw me to the ground. I'm an old lady now. Like I got new hips. I don't want to break them. I damn sure don't want to go back to the hospital and have them like repair them or replace them when I just got them. So that's a real thing. I no longer get gas late at night anymore. When I was a young woman, it'd be nothing. It'd be nothing to get gas. You scared the mess out of me, Margot. I get gas. I'd be like, okay, I got some gas. 11 o'clock, midnight, get some gas. Nope, I don't do that anymore. I got to think about my own safety. That's the things you got to think about now. Got to think about that. I try to go to a gas station that looks like it's got some movement to it. I try to go to gas stations that are on main intersections and main fairways. These are the kinds of things you got to think about. I think about when I get out my car, I look around and I make sure I pay attention, because those are the things you got to think about for your own safety. So anyway, I say all that to say I'm not anti-police. I'm not. I believe that police officers do an amazing job, and it's a tough job, and I get it. I absolutely understand that. But I also understand that too many people are dying at the hands of these police officers who don't give a damn about anybody's humanity, and that this job is an extension of some foolishness that they themselves have internalized and they have not hammered out. That and I mean that when I see these police officers who who have become jaded on the job, or have just taken on these I don't want to say macho, because there's some women out there too who are a little over the top, but but for the most part, I think New Haven has not risen to the level of some other places in the country. I think because there's still some residue of community policing that still gets talked about and shared in our police department, and that's like the city on the hill kind of thinking, and so listen, I love seeing the cops in my neighborhood when I'm walking. I love seeing them when they walk past the porch and I say hi, and they say hi.
Thank you.
I love when I'm over at the Lincoln Park and I see them parked and they call me out and they're like, yeah, we listen. I think we got a good police department. I think it can only get better. I think there's room for a great deal of getting better. So anyway, I gotta go. And y'all have a good day. I'm back tomorrow. We got guests at 10:15. Paul Nunez is in the house. So I'm looking forward to talking to him. And I hope y'all tune in. So y'all be good. Be nice out on these straight streets. And police department, be safe out there. Officers, be safe. All right, Nora. Thank you for the week. You've been amazing. Harry, I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you